Oh, that was the Keurig? I thought that was the sound of the intern justifying her job to her manager. Me after someone in tech support microwaves their lunch. It's very good for you. Thank you. Come again. Thanks for all the love, guys. Like the video if you liked the video, and let's plow ahead. I want to say something, boys and girls. I make more money than my boss now. Well, my old boss from my last company. This was about 1.5 years ago now, and back then I was a BI dev, which is basically the standard reporting job, creating data visualizations to drive stakeholder decisions, blah blah blah. Your average slop job for a comp sci major. It was honestly pretty chill, but excuse my French, but my last boss was a total bitch. And no, it's not just because she was a woman. And to be fair, she wasn't a terrible boss, but I never really felt supported by her. Like, we basically got zero visibility to execs, and we were all pretty much cast off into a corner to write SQL queries and DAX functions. Which I know a lot of software devs watching this, like, to them that's the dream, but that can be terrible for growth, and ultimately this comes down to company culture, but most companies, you need to be seen to be approved to move up. Anyways, plowing ahead, so over my 2 years working there, my old boss made a few comments that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, she made comments that I took pretty personally. It was at that moment where I decided to take it personal. And I used that to fuel my search for a better opportunity, actually. And whenever it was time to say bye-bye, I did so with little remorse. So why am I so butthurt? Like, what did she do? Well, I remember once in a group meeting, I forgot how she said it exactly, but she basically proclaimed that Gosh, yeah, me, good old Goshy, isn't to be executing database administration tasks. Like, basically, I'm not on that level. Like, I ain't like that. Which on one hand I get, but at the same time, I could totally do it. And most importantly, there didn't seem to be a plan to get me to a place where I could absorb more technical responsibility. The 48 Laws of Power is a pretty cringe book, like, I ain't gonna lie, but I do think that its author, Robert Greene, has some interesting things to say. And I do own the book, it's right here to the left of me. Right next to your mom. Booyah! One of the laws in that book that I think is most applicable to corporate life is never outshine your master. You know, I'm not trying to be arrogant, like, I'm by no means a total genius, but I know I'm smart, like, I know my stuff. And not only that, but I'm decently young. Well, I'm a boomer zoomer, and I have a pretty charismatic personality, and I do well at winning people over. With my old boss, you know, the one I totally frickin' money mog now, she totally tried to smother the baby in the crib when it came to my career. I think she tried to stifle my growth and demoralize me so I could never have the gusto to outshine her, or her boss. So, enough yapping, what did I actually do? Well, I drove to her house and poisoned her little doggy's food. Fido woke up one day listening to the newest Charlie Kirk podcast. No, I'm trolling. I basically just chilled. So this was a remote job, so whenever I started getting a bit jaded, I prioritized my health, I began gym maxing on the clock, and I was holding social events in my apartment while getting paid. All for the same comp I would have gotten if I would have busted my ass trying to impress folks. There were some days where I literally had my laptop out by the pool straight chillin', looking at buns while building data solutions, baby. But then whenever I was ready, which was whenever I felt like I was no longer learning, and also whenever I got pissed off at that job one too many times, I started furiously applying to jobs every day for about 2 weeks, and just like that, bam, I got an interview and eventually landed a new opportunity. And not only that, I'm literally making more money than my old boss now. I did have to sacrifice remote work for it, but honestly it was worth it. Remote work is pretty peak, but as a young male, something about getting up and going to work does feel like the right thing to do. Especially if you have a permavoid at home, like, you need to avoid that Love Island slop. I just say that to say, don't take work too serious. If you die a gamer's death, like if you have a 48-hour gamer session, develop blood clots in both your legs and croak, There will be another college grad in your seat quicker than you can say Yahtzee. And one more thing I noticed, it's actually very easy to go under the radar at work, which I think is a good thing. Because the thing that matters most is making your presence felt at pivotal moments. Someone who's constantly trying their ass off is just a tryhard and often not rewarded for their sweatiness. A lot of these email jobs exist because of the way corporate America is structured. You know, managers can't really get promoted and get more pay until they have more direct reports. So that's why whenever the company has a golden boy or golden girl, someone who they actually really like, they hire some randoms just to justify their bump in compensation. Overall, my main point is work should be something that you do to help pay the bills. Like, ask for as much money as possible, obviously, but a core tenet of my channel when it comes to work is the most important thing you could have at a job is the opportunity to learn while working. That's golden, and once you stop learning, it's time to move on into the next season of your career. You know, the day I'm posting this, I had an interview with a pretty huge company, like literally 20x bigger than the company I'm at right now. So today, I did my regular duties, I tried a little bit, I learned some stuff, and I chilled with coworkers, doom scrolled a bit, and then whenever noon hit, I secretly did my interview at lunch. I may get it, I may not, no worries either way, that's not important. Work is just a check. I think as a man you should identify with your skills, yes, but identifying with your company is pretty cucked, to be frank. Anyway, that's all I have tonight, y'all. Like if you like, and also take care, say your prayers, and I'll see y'all later. So yeah.